Hello, everyone. My name is Michał Pastuszak, and I'm head of AI products at Synerise. And today I will have a pleasure to present to you and to lead the session of our open hours in the area of recommendations. Specifically, today we're gonna cover the a little bit more advanced topics that we used to cover in basic sessions. So without further ado, I would like to move swiftly to the agenda for today's meeting, today's session. So first of all, I would split our today's session into two parts. First would be dedicated to some use cases. I would like to demo in live. I would like to prepare a demo live. And secondly, I would move swiftly to some advanced feature, and we will cover some newly added advanced feature into the recommendation engine, recommendation solution in the Synerise platform. But also we're gonna cover some, I would say, most frequently asked questions regarding the topics like boosting or maybe distinct filters as well. So I will swiftly switch my screen into presenting the Synerise platform. Um, okay. So the first topic I would like to cover today uh, are actually few topics related to one, I would say, quite powerful functionality you can spot in the Synerise recommendation solution. This is the feature that is called item context from analytics, and it allows you to retrieve context of item or many items from Synerise analytics using aggregates or expression. Where can we find useful? Specifically in the cases like we would like to pass the item context of specific past behavior of our users. Like, for instance, whenever the customer added something to the basket or maybe added something to favorite or marked products as favorite or visited few products, and then we would like to, based on this situation, prepare specific campaigns, specific actions related to this previous behavior. What can it be? First, for example, we can imagine the situation to prepare the similar recommendation campaigns based on the recently visited products. Or we can prepare the cross-sell recommendation campaign based on the recently added to the favorite um, list products. So this could be this very straightforward solution that you can easily build using this newly added feature. Of course, you can. It's not the feature is itself. It's not limited only to the recommendation campaigns. These previously mentioned recommendation campaigns types like cross-sell or card. You can use it for top items. You can use it for even personalized, but in slightly different manner. I would like to cover it. I will cover it later on. So maybe stop talking and start doing. And I will prepare the just uh, I will show you the example of how it could be set up. So first of all, we have to prepare the analytics that will be, let's say, the underlying analytics that will allow our recommendation engine to get the information about about item context actually. Of course, we can do it using the aggregates. We can do it as well using also the expressions as well. However, today, for the sake of the clarity and the ease of this presentation, we're gonna stack with aggregates. I have already prepared some exemplary aggregate for this purpose. But I would like to, before just moving swiftly to the recommendation campaign, I would like to also a little bit more elaborate about the settings of this aggregate, because it will have an influence on what will be possible on the recommendation side. So first of all, of course, we've got to decide about the aggregate function actually, right? So, and this is, I would say, uh, the first stop point that we have to a little bit um, um, that we have to consider. So there are plenty of options of these aggregate functions for passing the item context. I would say two of them, I would say, or maybe two or three of them are applicable. So first of all, we can use last multi, or we can use last aggregate. This will, of course, have an influence on how many items context we would like to get or retrieve. Um, uh, there are some differences between the number of the item contexts that can be retrieved by specific recommendation types. And this is, uh, in most of the cases, in most of the recommendation types, you can pass only the one item context. But there is one specific recommendation type that allows you to pass more than more than one item context, and this is card recommendations. So maybe let's start with this recommendation types, and let's start also with this aggregate function, saying that yeah, setting this to to two. Secondly, of course, we have to decide about the distinct, whether we want to consider only distinct occurrences of the, let's say, recently visited product, or whether we want to aggregate all of the occurrences. I think for the sake of this, let's say, for the sake of our use case, it's more reasonable to use the first source, and then we have to decide about the conditions that will, let's say, narrow down the item lists, and of course ultimately return the item. So first of all, we have to select, in our context, this product retailer part number. So this is the item attribute with the item ID actually, that will then be used by recommendation engine. And then the condition has to be set also to true as a Boolean value also for this. So let's say we're gonna take we're gonna let's say take all of the products, all of the page visits with the product detail number that is existing. So that's how it looks like. Okay, so that's all. Of course, we can of course we can limit ourselves to certain number of the days. Let's stay with the 30 days. Let's saved, and then we can move swiftly to recommendation engine. First of all, let's click. maybe on this. mm, Maybe let's start with some other types of the recommendation. Then we will gonna move to the specific case, which is the personalized recommendation with the context passed, because there will be a slight difference. I would like to also cover it today. Okay, so uh, deciding about the item feed, then we have to, let's imagine that we would like to mm, pass the item context to the card recommendations. In this context, card recommendation will be, mm, let's say, like uh, multiple item context cross recommendation, because there are just slight differences between cross and card recommendation types. And in this context, card recommendation will allow us to retrieve more than one item context. So it will be useful for our case. So let's go with this. And our ultimate use case will be, of course, to present the cross-sell product to our users recently visited items. Let's click. Let's name it cross-sell to recently visited. Okay. And then we have to decide about passing. And here we have two options, of course, expressions and aggregates. I would say that expression metrics in this context, I would say that will be more useful if we would like to some extent manipulate the context of the item context we would like to pass to the recommendation engine. Like maybe whenever we would like to exclude some item context, some items to be passed, or maybe whether we want to replace some item context that are passed. Yeah, so I would see it in this area. However, in most of the occasion, I would say the aggregates will be more useful for our case. Let's find. Let's check it. Okay, so this is open hours, last visited products. Last visited products. Yep, that's it. That's our aggregate. Clicking apply. Mhm. Yep, and let's and of course, what we're gonna see here is that the item context is already being used. Of course, I can, sorry, uh, I can show you on the base of my user ID that belongs to, that was recorded actually on this page, so Synerise demo page. Okay, so this is me fetching the results. What we can preview here is that yeah, I watch these products, and the cross-sell are like that. Possibly mm, uh, more look and more solution with some more obvious look and feel would be to use the similar recommendations to the recently visited products that will show us. I can show it, I think, quite easily. Maybe try to like that, just replacing here. Mhm. Looking, okay, so this is fine. Once again, we're gonna pass this last visited. Let's open now. Clicking apply. Then we're gonna have something more like similar product recently visited. Yeah, and this is true. This is true. This is what I have told you before, and actually, it was the part of the scenario to present you that we can't pass more than more than one item context to the recommendation types like similar or cross-sell. So we have already seen that passing more than one item context is not possible for the recommendation types like, for instance, similar. So what we're gonna have to do now? I think that the best option is to prepare another aggregate for the sake of this situation. Let's call it open hours last visit that product, right? And select last, select visited page because yeah, we would like to take the item context from the product visits. Then the product retail part number, product retailer existing, all of them, only the page visit with the existing product retail part number. Let's click. It's true. Save. Okay. Let's copy this aggregate. Maybe let's not. So save. Yeah. And let's click back. And let's go to the recommendations. And the recommendation, we're gonna prepare the similar recommendations with this setting. So similar, apply, selecting this item context. Let's put it here. Okay. I think we're gonna respread. Let's say let's apply here. Let's save. Let's name it to similar. We go with context. Okay. Once again, click save. Just refresh here for the sake of sometimes quick hint. Sometimes if the newly added item context is not visible or the aggregate is not visible, sorry, you've got to refresh the page, and now, yeah, now that the aggregate is visible. Let's click save. Let's preview the results. Yep, let's maybe take once again my user ID. So fetching results, yeah, and as you can see, you could see I was recently previewing the products from that category, so it works at the end of the day. And of course, yeah. So this was actually this portable wireless speaker. Okay, so we covered actually the cross sell. We covered the card with the item context. Of course, we can build more, say, advanced scenarios on the top of that, because we can also do something less straightforward, and we can uh, pass the context of an item also to the personalized recommendations. How it could be done? I have prepared already the recommendation campaign for the sake of this example, and of course, yep, the aggregate is already done. Aggregate is also already selected here. But you may ask how the item context can be passed to and pass and retrieve from the point of view of the recommendation, personalized recommendation, because personalized recommendation, as you, if we go to the, let's say our app, is easily visible that yep, let's click here, that recommendation, a personalized recommendation does not require, let's say, item context. Yeah, so for the item context, you can pass, say, one item context in case of the visual items, visual similarity, cross-sell. But for card, I already mentioned multiple item contexts is possible to be retrieved. But however, in case of the personalized recommendation, it takes only the customer context. But just to some extent, I would like to highlight maybe this difference just right now. Okay, so yeah, we are with this example, and the idea behind this is to pass the item context not to the entire, let's say, recommendation campaign, but only to the filters. What possibilities? What are the possibilities that will be unlocked with this context passed? First of all, and I think this is quite interesting, is that we can prepare the scenario like passing the context of the category, context of an item, or the category context of an item, and then filtering out the products presented to the customer only to recently visited to the categories of the recently visited products, like in our case. And this is an example of an IQL filter where, first of all, we have to choose the attribute category. Then we have to select the function category that will retrieve the category out of an item. And this is important here point. And is that we have to take an item context and select the category. This is a little bit, I would say, troublesome for many of our users, because many cases they are mistaking it with the scenario like that. Okay, and doing something like that. For instance, let's take this our, let's say, underlying. Yep. Yeah. So doing like that, and I think that because of the fact that they already, let's say, passed the aggregate to the recommendation campaign, it should be set up this way. Not at all, because aggregates returns just items, and we would like to return not an item, but the category of an item. So that's why we have to exchange it and select an item context here with the attribute category, so context category actually. And then we can do, of course, the things like in this function, so limit to some specific category category level tree, and things like that. But in most of the occasions, I would say this is the way we should do it. So let's click it and let's check it. Once again, let's pass my. Yeah, as you could see, I was browsing the speakers, and only the speakers are presented to me. So very nice feature, I would say. It can be also very useful whenever you want to send, let's say, the outgoing communication with the recommendations, for instance. Then it's possible for us to record, let's say, let's say, desired previous customer behaviors, and then based on them, prepare the scenario, let's say, personalized scenario with personalized item orders, recommendations, and then send it, let's say, in the mail, for instance. Uh, another alternative or another option that we can have using using this item context passed or retrieved from Sunrise Analytics from aggregates and expressions is that whenever let's click apply and I will save. Maybe it will be. Yep. Let's go here. Ah, one thing more. One thing more. Also, let's say let's move back to the previous example because one thing more I would like to also present. Okay, so the scenario with the boosting. Scenario with the boosting. So first, so what we can do here, similarly to like it was presented before, we can boost um, products from specific category. This is different in comparison to the filtering out the items items returned because uh, boosting items does not mean necessarily that will be presented to the customer or to your user, but it rather means that it will increase the chance of presenting. So, in other words, it's more probabilistic than deterministic, like filters are. Mm, so, similarly to the previous example, we can set up it uh, let's say here. Yep. So let's do it like here. Context item context category context category. Yeah, like so. We can also do something in more, let's say, conditional way. Sorry, here it should be, of course, number. We can also do it the same, some more conditional way. So we can apply some if functions. So for instance, if customer is in specific maybe segment, then boost the categories of boost the categories, let's say, of recent categories, recently visited categories, let's say. Otherwise, do something else. It will be also visible, possible here. It will just require to, instead of starting from the category attribute, to start with the if function, and then of course place it as the condition here. Okay, so this was this, and the last but not least example for today. Mm, last but not least example, but from the point of view of item context retrieval, because we'll have more examples, is sorry. It will be an example of the scenario that we can use the item context, but however, this scenario will be more, let's say, related to something else, slightly else. So let's imagine the situation, whether we want to boost, we would like to boost customers that belong to boost some products meeting some requirements for the customers that are from some segments. So let's say that we have used our, let's say, well-known prediction engine, and we have prepared churn prediction, right? And out of this churn prediction, we have discovered, let's say, the segment of the customer with a high risk of churn. And for these customers, we would like to promote products with the discounts, for instance, right? Or promote products with specific categories. So then we can use boosting, attribute boosting with some specific rules applied. And this is an example of this. So this is actually, oh, let's click it. Let's take this segment before going further. Let's check it. What the segment is. So this is actually this segment, right? So this is the segments of the customers that were discovered, let's say, by our prediction module as these customers having the highest churn risk. For these customers, we would like to present only the products with the special price. Of course, it should be added to the item feed the information about whether the product is in this special price. It could be discounted. It could be something else. Of course, we can also here compare, let's say, the original price with the discounted price, and based on that, let's say maybe promote products, or we can exchange this with products from the specific categories. This is actually up to you, and of course, it depends on the structure on your item feed. So for the sake of this presentation, I'll do it like that. And okay, and that's it. There's another thing here I would like to mention. Of course, we have to decide about the impact of the attribute boosting. But this is actually the more, I would say, tricky option when we speak about not personalized recommendation, but rather similar or card recommendations. Okay. Let's click apply. And that's it. And we have the scenario with the boosted, let's say, special products with the special product boosted for segment of the customers with the highest churn risk. Okay, we can of course preview that now the context is of course it's empty because that does not require the context. Some results were promoted. Okay, so this was the second scenario. And then let's move on to advanced features. Some advanced feature I would like to cover also today. So actually the primary order was started from the boosting, started from sorting methods and then moving to boosting. But I would like to start with the boosting because we have already covered boosting. So let's prepare blank recommendation, similar recommendation scenario. I would say yes, similar. Yeah. scenario. Because I have chosen the similar scenario because it has uh, the most, let's say, boosting possibilities. Um, so we have, let's say, three types of the boosting. We got the boosting strategies. So first of all, you can boost products meeting specific metrics. So you can influence uh, or increase the chance likelihood of products that have the highest, let's say, page visit count in the last 7 days, or the products with the highest number of the purchase in the last 30 days, and others. So there are like, I think, 10 possibilities here. So let's click here. And of course, as usual, there are two options, promote, demote, and you can adjust, let's say, the strength up to 100%. You can do it similarly to the attribute boosting. So for instance, let's imagine that in this case, we will have this attribute boosting scenario. Like before, I think that there's no need to prepare it again. So let's just imagine that we have something like that. Well, maybe for the sake of this, to keep it, let's say, uh, so maybe let's say, let's do it like that. Just to for the sake of this, that doesn't. Let's do it. Let's say, let's do it like that. And the last but not least, there's an option to also add personalization to similar recommendation, because usually similar recommendations model is being trained um, based on the product fit solely. So at the end of the day, similar recommendation engine allows you to find the most similar products, specifically in the context of the product's attribute. But you can add the level of the personalization and also reflect the customer's recent interactions with specific products, with specific product categories, brands, and so on. So this is what the personalization in this context was designed to. And we have three different types of, and this is actually the most important thing I would like to cover today. And here we have three different metric boosting strengths, let's say. And there are many questions how they should be treated. So I would say, because of the fact that all of these um, boosting strengths are added to each other, say, and the ultimate result is the sum of this boosting strength, let's say, and of course, plus, let's say, the initial, let's say, score of the from the recommendation engine. Uh, to some extent, manipulating them should be perceived as assigning the priority of specific um, attribute boosting, let's say. So if we would like to have to end up with the situation that personalized boosting will have the highest impact out of three possible boosting, let's say, I would do it like that and decrease the boosting strengths for others. Let's say, let's imagine that I would like to use the personalized metric boosting. Sorry, metric boosting in the middle. Let's say assign the say in the middle, and just I would like to add some mediocre impact for attribute boosting. So in our context, it will be boosting the categories, item categories, item context categories. Okay, so it will be like that. So ultimately, the personalization will have the highest impact. Then the metric boosting will be the second row, and the third row will be the attribute boosting. So yeah, so this is my take on this. And of course, by the way, we can add some more, let's say, uh, attribute boosting rules, not just one here. But yeah, so that's what I would like to cover regarding the boosting for today. Mm, and yeah, and now let's move to the second topic from advanced features I would like to cover today. And this is regarding slots and actually assigning the right order, so desired order of the slots. For the sake of this, let's take this personalized recommendations and yeah, maybe let's prepare a few slots. This slot A, B, and C. Yeah, any slot, let's keep it 4, 5, 5, 5, 5. And of course, yeah, we can set up different set of the filters to each slot because, by the way, just one reminder that all of the filters belong to certain slots. So there's nothing. So if you would like to apply some general rule, you should use default filters instead of the filters that belong to the specific slot. Yeah, but of course the slots could be put in, and the products in the slots could be also put in some specific order. So that's the thing I would like to elaborate a little bit more just now. And quite recently, we have added this second option, so option related to personalizing also the slot order, because before we have we have had actually two primary options. So first option was to arrange items in a slot order. Okay, so it will be up to us actually to decide which slots should be put at the first, second, and the third or fourth, depending on the number of the slots place. So in our case, it will be the order will be like ABC, and the products within the slots will be, of course, in this context because we have chosen the personalized recommendation. So they will be ordered regarding the personalized score. Mm, result that is outcome from the model actually, or to use this third option. Well, third option, just ignore the slots and put the items in regarding, let's say personalized order, regardless the slots belong, regardless it's, let's say, belonging to the slot. And in order to fulfill our platform also with some more, let's say, personalization capabilities, we have decided to add some additional option here, and this is an option to personalize slot order. So let's once again look at the example here. Maybe I will just a little bit zoom in. So first of all, yeah, we had the order, let's say the slot A, and within the slot A, the best, the product with the highest score in slot A and slot B. But if we choose the second option, the order of the slots will be reordered, let's say, uh, towards, let's say, the highest average score for slots for items within the slots. So if for instance our items meeting the filter requirements for the slot B would have average on average higher score than slot A, there will be the entire slot B will be put in the front, and the slot A will be put to the second place. So this is a very nice scenario. Whenever we don't have this kind of the predefined slot order, let's say, and we would like to simply increase our KPIs. Otherwise, I would specifically, I would okay. So this will be used. I would say in most of the occasion, it will be useful to use this personalized slot labels because simply it will increase the chance of the conversion for the average, let's say, product. But in the cases like that, we would like to cover to or promote, for instance, specific product range. And explicitly, we know that we would like to put them in front of all of our, let's say, assortment. Then I would prefer to use standard, let's say, option to arrange items in a slot order. So this is, I think, the major distinguish between these two options. Of course, the third option still is on the table, but I would say that this is of less importance. Okay. And of course, by the way, we can also decide about the sorting. Still, we can decide about the sorting method within the slots. But by, let's say, default, we use this sort by personalized score because it will give us, let's say, usually the most bang for the buck. Okay. So that's it when it comes to slots and items ordering. And last but not least, I would like to cover the things related to cover the things related to the distinct filters, because there are some occasions. Okay, I would say that the setting, let's say the configuration of the distinct filter is pretty much straightforward. So we have to decide how many products we would like to have with the certain, let's say, with the same brand, category, and just attribute, let's say. So this is straightforward. But the difficulties sometimes come whenever we apply distinct filters. And at the same time, we have some very limited assortment, let's say, uh, uh, because of the fact that we have applied very restrictive filters, for instance. So it may occur, and this is worth, I think, mentioning, that uh, we will limit ourselves then um, to the lack of the randomness of the results. Okay, so I think that's all for my side. This is it. What I would like to cover it for today. Um, yeah. Of course, if you would like to, if you would have any kind of more questions, please feel free please feel free to contact us. We would like to. We are very happy, to answer them. And yep. So that's it from my side for today, and everything good for you.